Good evening, everyone. Thank you for tuning in tonight. We are almost to the end of summer events, and this one I am very fond of. This is TempleFest, and we are talking to one of the members of the TOW. Her name is Selena, and this is Selena, and thank you for coming on. I mean, I am very happy, appreciative.
Thank you for inviting us. I'm always excited to talk about the temple or TempleFest. So I'm glad to be here.
We are, authors and guest authors and everybody's on a sabbatical for new books coming out. They got book signing. They got pagan events to go to. So we thought, we need something. Why not do the events that's happening this year?
I love that you're doing that.
Knows about it, yeah. And there's a lot of people who doesn't know about it. So let's get started. So the event is called TempleFest.
Yes.
Okay. Now I just want to let everybody know this is from Christopher Pensack.
It's from the Temple of Witchcraft. Yes.
Okay, great. Now, how long did this started? How long ago?
I believe, and I may be wrong, and if I'm wrong, please correct me, but I think this is our 15th year. 15th, so Christopher has been present, and I think one more of our lead ministers has been present at every TempleFest. So one of the two of them will correct me if I'm wrong, but I'm pretty sure it started in 2010.
2010. Wow. So you've been going for quite a long time then. That is pretty awesome then. Okay. So with the event, it is a family-friendly event with kids and everything. Can they come?
Absolutely. We love having families there. We have a little bit of kids programming. I will say that sort of after COVID, a lot of our younger members, families with children, didn't seem to want to bring their kids as much. So when we get registrations with a fair number of kids, then we unleash our children's programming, which is always, ready to go whenever we need to. We definitely have children's programming for Friday night already. We have a handful of parents that bring their kids each year, and they're wonderful, and they have activities planned and things like that, so they can be part of all the magic and part of the fun.
Oh, great. I love it. With having 4 kids of my own, back in the day, I'm not going to say how long ago, but back in the day, we took all 4 kids around to pagan events, and if we wasn't organizing them, we was attending them, and it was great. They loved it. They really like it when they have something to do, so they don't get bored. So that is great. Is it also friendly for pets too?
The only pets that are allowed on the property, and this comes down to the venue's rules, are service animals. So service animals are allowed. Otherwise, no.
Okay. No problem. I mean, that's why we do this interview for, so everybody knows what to expect. Okay, so with the presenters, do you have presenters for the workshop? Just for the workshop now?
Oh, yeah, absolutely. We have, I believe we have 30 presenters, 27, 28. We have a few. So we have a couple of keynote speakers. We have Ivo Dominguez Jr. is our guest keynote this year. Of course, Christopher Pensack will be doing a keynote for us as well. And we have 5 featured presenters this year that we're very, very excited about. And then we have about 20 or so more general presenters. So there's a bunch of stuff going on at TempleFest.
Wow. I know Ivo he's an awesome guy. We had him on. Awesome. Christopher's awesome. Sounds like, man, I want to go now. Can we just kind of move it up?
Come on. We can do multiple TempleFest. No, I would probably never sleep. I would love to mention some of our featured presenters, though, if that's all right.
Of course it is.
So for our featured presenters, and each of these presenters will be doing 3 sessions. So they're going to do a session each day that there are workshops. So you have ample opportunity to see all of them. Adam Sartwell, who is actually one of the temple's founders, is going to be doing some excellent sessions. We have Emphas Book, and I'm so excited they will be there. I had the pleasure to meet Emphas and watch one of her workshops at Sacred Space a couple of years ago. So I'm thrilled to have Emphas. We have Madame Pamita, which I've been wanting to get over to TempleFest for quite some time. So she will be there, and Matt Oren will be a featured presenter this year. Everybody knows Matt. And he's been there the last few years, and then he's been there for many years before that. So we're very grateful that we have Matt coming back to present for us. And a special featured presenter we have this year is Sam Thompson, who is the author of, I believe it's called Metal Never Lies. If I'm wrong, correct me.
We actually having Sam come on next Tuesday.
Oh, great. Well, perfect. This is a great plug for Sam. You should check him out. He's going to be live at TempleFest, and he's going to be taking part in our Saturday night ritual, as well as doing some blacksmithing workshops and demonstrations. So we're actually building a little primitive forge on the property, and I'm very excited about that.
I'd be too. Oh yeah, I'm really excited to have Sam on. So I've been.
Yeah, he's such a sweetheart. He's been wonderful to work with. So I highly recommend. 5 stars.
Right. My gosh. How about entertainment? Any kind of bands?
Well, we have, as far as entertainment goes, our primary evening that we focus on having sort of a social event is the first night, which is Friday night. We're having a masquerade ball, and we will have, we don't have live music this year, but we have some live performers that are going to be performing and dancing with us, and it's a wonderful time. Plus, we open the vendor hall during that time to give people a chance to shop without worrying about missing sessions, and that gives the vendors a chance to really, they dress up, they go all out, they decorate their spaces for whatever the theme is each year. We'll have, this will be after dinner, but we do have cocktails and hors d'oeuvres, and we have an incredibly talented member of our team who's been creating some specialty cocktails just for this event, and we have some that are non-alcoholic as well, and they're excellent. I've had a look at them, and hopefully we'll get to taste them soon, and we will be sharing those as well. So the night market, that's our Friday night market and masquerade ball, is going to be a really, really good time. It's a great time to meet everybody, come in costume, dress up, hang out. It's a really, really good time. And I encourage everyone to, if you're coming to TempleFest, you definitely want to be part of the Sovereign's Ball, even if you don't want to dance, if you don't want to dress up, that's okay. You can still come hang out, have some snacks, have some free drinks. It's a good time.
Sounds like a blast. How about meals? Should somebody bring their own food, or is it
we have meals provided? The venue that we work with is Prindle Pond. It's Prindle Pond Conference Center, and that's in Charlton, Massachusetts. And they are absolutely wonderful. We've had such a great experience with them, and they are very excited. They're very excited to let us try different things. When we said, "Hey, is it okay if we build a forge in your field?" They were like, "Absolutely, let's do it." So they've been really wonderful, and they have in-house catering that they do. So all the meals are included in your tickets. For every single ticket, you get meals included for the time that you are there. So even if you have a day pass, your meals are included. And we do, during the registration process, we do ask questions about food allergies and things like that. And we send that to the venue. And we take a lot of special care to make sure that all the meals have options for everyone. So it can be an exhaustive process, but it's worth it because I want everybody to make sure they have what they can eat. And for anybody that has particular dietary restrictions or needs, we do have refrigeration available for attendees, and I believe I want to say I know there's at least one to two microwaves and things like that people would have access to. But yeah, so we really take a lot of care in planning the menu. I'm from the South, so I don't hold with Yankee food. It's a little bland for me. So we're always trying to push for really filling, flavorful meals. We don't give just salad for our lovely vegetarians and vegans. We have lots of protein options for them and lots of build your own type things. So it's really, we haven't had any issues with someone not being able to, find what they need to eat and feel full and satisfied from the menu. So that's good.
Very nice. And registration it's actually ending in July, isn't it?
Yes, it ends on July 9th. July 9th is the last day to register. You can register all the way through the end of the night, but like midnight is the end. At the end of midnight, you can go. Hi, I'm going to talk a little bit slower. You can register all the way through the 9th of July. So please get your spots now. Get the good rooms while they're still available. I mean, they're all good rooms, but some of them are really good.
How about the cost?
The cost?
Yes.
Actually, TempleFest is probably the most cost-effective festival I know that I go to, and I organize it, and I'm on a budget, so I try to keep that in mind for everyone. I'm also in Mississippi, so traveling to Massachusetts requires airfare for me and a rental car if I can't get transportation. So that has really helped me in organizing things to make sure I'm thinking about those people that are traveling a long distance. So for our ticket prices, there's a variety of options because we do have day passes. So for example, the Friday night pass, that's dinner, the night market, the vendor hall, all of the entertainment that goes along with that is $30. And that includes your dinner. And all the events. And we have a drum circle afterward. Every night we have a drum circle. So you're welcome to stay and sit around the fire and join in the drum circle. That's a lot for $30. Then our day passes range, because Monday's a shorter day. So our day passes after that range from $105 to $130 for those longer days. That includes all of your meals and all of the sessions and events for that entire day, rituals, sessions, anything else that's going on, drum circle, of course. And then you get into the full weekend passes. So they actually are a little bit more cost effective as far as day to day. So if you're commuting, it's $371. That's all your meals for those 4 days included. And obviously entrance into all the sessions and rituals and whatever. If you're camping, we do have camping options, and we do have space for a few RVs. We can get about 4 RVs, and we usually have about 2 every year. So there's usually a spot or 2 left open for RVs. So we do have RV parking. We don't have hookups for RVs, but we do have showers and restrooms for those people that are in RVs. We have lovely camping area as well. And so the camping ticket is $385, and that includes the whole weekend, all the sessions, all your meals for the whole weekend, a camping space, and you do have access to bathrooms and showers. So you're not just roughing it, necessarily. And then our full weekend that includes lodging. This is where you really, really get the best possible deal, is just to get the lodging. It's $455 for 4 days, all the rituals, the night market, all of your meals for that whole time, and a dorm room as well. So these are usually shared, so you can request who you'd like to share a room with, and we try to accommodate all of that. We do have a few single rooms that are available if, by request. And that we reserve those for people that have mobility needs or things like that. All of our rooms are ADA accessible, And most of them have in-suite bathrooms. And if there's not an in-suite bathroom, then there's a shared bathroom very close by, and only a handful of people would be sharing that same space. But we definitely have in-suite bathrooms. All the rooms, all the classrooms and everything are air conditioned. So we're not really roughing it. It's kind of, I'm just talking a lot. It's kind of a blend of an outdoor retreat. You have outdoor spaces. We have a beautiful pond. It's on 700 acres. So there are walking trails. There are beautiful, beautiful outdoor spaces. And all the classrooms and meals and things like that are indoors. So if you just want to escape the humidity and the heat, you can come inside and enjoy yourself. So you get that retreat feeling, but you also get the amenities basically of a hotel conference without the cost. Like I think it's like $40 a night. It works out for lodging, and I think the nearest hotel is like $170 a night. So you definitely can't beat the cost. So I highly recommend just go for it. Just get the lodging.
That sounds, I mean, that, like you said, you get your meals, the workshops, you inside the workshop, and showers, bathrooms, you can have RV or tent or lodging. So that gives everybody a choice of what they would like to do, which is great, and
of course, if you need to stay off site as well, or if you live close by, then we have commuter options too. So
the cost is very reasonable. I mean, I've been to events where I might have to take a loan out. So.
Yeah, and sometimes you look at it and it's like, oh, the ticket's only $100. That's amazing. And then you get your hotel bill and it's like, oh my God, that's $1,000. Oh no.
Yeah, that's one thing about all the events that we have podcast this year has been really reasonable, and that is so good, because today's society, nobody knows if they're going to have a job one day or what.
Well, I think that's an important thing for people to remember. We want these kind of events to be available to us. We want people to be able to gather, and we're so scattered all over the country. And it's really important to be able to come together. And I know, at least of the people who are hosting events that I go to and that I know of, these people work so hard, and they are really putting their heart and their thought into it. So those prices, you may look at it and get a sticker shock, but I guarantee you, first of all, it's all volunteers, so nobody's pocketing it. And and I know these people have put in the thought of to make it the most cost effective, while still being able to facilitate the event. If we can't pay the bills, we can't pay the venue, then we're not going to have an event.
Yes, exactly. When I did pagan events, and Pagan Pride in 2 different states, and Harvest Fest and everything like that. We started by it coming out of our own pockets, and with 4 kids,
that's a lot.
Yeah, it is, and I had to take on a second job my second job for the events. This is the fun for the events. So yes, it's hard work. Organizers don't get paid.
No, we buy our tickets just like everyone else. So
what do you pay for is this a special guest if you have a guest.
And as part of the ethos of the temple, we feel that people should be paid for their work if possible. It's not always possible, but I do like to pay presenters. I think especially our keynotes and featured presenters are well compensated for coming to our festival and speaking to our audience. And I'm hoping, and this depends on ticket sales, of course, we'd love to be able to pay our general presenters as well. But most of those are also volunteering their time. So nobody does this, without a deep love of community and bringing people together and sharing knowledge that we have with each other. So, it's a creation of love from everybody that's involved, including the attendees. They want to be there and they want to be part of that. So it's great. I love that there are so many festivals. I know some of the folks who organize like Mystic South and oh my gosh, Sacred Space, Between the Worlds, all of those, like those folks are working hard. TempleFest, folks are working hard. So come see us.
Yeah. And that is so great because, to me, when somebody came to our events and they say, "Oh, thank you so much," because the network, they found somebody that is the same as them, in the same path or anything like that. They exchange phone numbers, emails, so they leave with friendship. They leave with knowledge.
Yep.
And they even leave with a souvenir of what they really want to get. So, it's all it's a win-win all around,
I
So,
do love when we have first timers and a lot of our folks, even some of our ministers that have been, it's 15 years old. So we've had people that their very first introduction to the Temple of Witchcraft was coming to TempleFest and meeting people, making connections, and that really launched them onto their path. And now they're, priests, priestesses, lead ministers in the temple. And that was one of the times when I was already in the mystery school for a few years before I went to my first TempleFest, but I haven't missed it since. I've never missed TempleFest since that one. And it was a lot, like you said, it was a lot of that connection and community.
It is. It is. I mean, I praise everybody who organizers.
They
Who
need that.
Yeah, because I know when people come up to me and say thank you and stuff, I kind of feel guilty because it's like, well, you're welcome, but I'm doing this because I love the gods so much that I want all their children to, have knowledge, to meet somebody, to, get something, get a gift or something, and that's probably the best part of doing an event is that you are helping somebody on their path, in more ways
Hopefully.
than one.
Yeah.
In
And
more ways
if
than one.
nothing else, I mean, even if you don't have people who are, first timers or things like that, you're still creating a sacred space. You're still engaging with community and you're building something that really can't be experienced outside of that moment. And that, that whatever the container is for that time frame, you get into there and you're really inside, you're in sacred space the entire time. And I know that our organizers, Team TempleFest, we work really hard throughout the year and over the years to create and build a really solid ritual container for the event. And so once you're sort of inside there, anything and everything is possible. So it's a good experience either way.
Absolutely. Is there any more you want to tell us about that event? And then I want to get into the TOWs if you don't mind, if you can do that as well.
I can definitely do that. I think some of the you asked a lot of questions about registration and sort of ticket costs and things like that. One thing that we do offer that I would like to share, especially for those people who are traveling over a distance and don't want to rent a car for it to sit in a parking lot for 4 days. We do have a shuttle service from Boston Logan. So if you're flying into Boston Logan Airport, we have a shuttle that picks up. Oh gosh, you'll have to check me on the time. I believe it picks up at 1:30, something like that, early afternoon, and drives people straight to the event and picks them up on Monday and takes them back to the airport. So that saves, for me, I know the first few years that I went to TempleFest, the rental car was like $600. This was years ago too. And it was, and it would just sit in the parking lot because I would drive there, do the thing and drive back. So I wanted to make sure people had options for travel that didn't cost much. And it's only like $64 for the round trip. So super, super affordable. So I wish we could go to like every airport around, but I think most people fly into Boston Logan. So that's something that we're offering as well. And Goodness, what else do I want to say about TempleFest?
Well, how about the location? I know the location is in Massachusetts, in Charlton.
It is. It's in Charlton, Massachusetts. The address is actually on our website. I'd love to share the website with you. It's
go ahead. I think I have it down below, but I'm not.
Oh, you may. Oh, you sure do. It's right there on the banner. I can see it.
I have the Facebook page and also the site too.
Yes,
if that's correct.
I believe that's right.
Okay,
I think that's right. That TOW TempleFest is at least our hashtag. If it's not right, then you can just search TempleFest, and you'll see you'll see this logo. Hold on, let's see if you can see it. It's on my phone. You'll see that logo on the Facebook page. That is the TempleFest logo. Look at my camera moving around. That's creepy. But I will have to brag on our website a little bit. We have an amazing volunteer named Adam Deere, who has worked really, really, really hard to build this website for us. And he is a professional programmer, so that's just his day job, and he's built it for us. And it works once you create your account and buy your ticket, then you have access to add things to your schedule. If you're volunteering, it will show your volunteer tasks in your schedule. You can in the future, you'll be able to book readings if we have readers and things like that, just right from the app. And if there are schedule changes or anything like that, it updates right there. A lot of festivals use Sketch, which we used a couple of years ago. And we're really hoping for some more dynamic features than we could afford with Sketch. So we were very, very fortunate to have this website built for us. And it's really, really smooth, easy to submit applications and things like that. So if you're a presenter and you would like to come and speak, or if you're a vendor and you would like to vend at TempleFest next year, we're already set for this year, but that is the place you would do it, that TempleFest website. And when submissions open, we will share that information. So I just had to brag on the website a little bit.
I think we have to brag about Isabella LeMay.
Oh yes, Isabella LeMay
did the logo.
She did this logo for us. This is actually last year's artwork, and it was just so beautiful. And it has, it has TempleFest right there in it. It has the temple's logo, and then all these other little symbols. Those are the symbols for our ministry spirits. Which, if we're going to talk about the temple in a minute, we may get into that a little bit more. But and it's just such beautiful work. So we decided to keep it up there again for another year. I will say that we do have a lovely artist named Nikki Valerie, who has been creating our t-shirt art this year. So that's almost ready to go. Soon we'll have an announcement about t-shirts for this year, which will have a different image on it. But Isabel LeMay did an excellent job. She's an incredible artist. She actually did all the artwork for our calendar last year. And so she's wonderful. She's actually, I believe she's finished her mystery school training. I may be wrong now, but she maybe recently made a high priestess in the temple as well. If so, congratulations. If not, I'm sorry. I said the wrong thing.
Now, speaking of the TOW.
Yes. Uh-oh, I can't hear you. Is it me?
Nope, it's me. It's me.
Oh, okay.
No, my grandkids are like downstairs yelling, so I'm like, no, we don't need
Oh, dear. I understand. I have kids too.
But I have a good friend, Monica, who just got her high priestess status.
Yes. Did she work with Gemini Ministry?
Oh gosh,
I believe she does.
Ask me.
Well, she does. She hears from me a lot because I need her help a lot.
Yeah, Monica lives in Pennsylvania. If that helps any, so
I think so. I think we're talking about the same one.
Yeah, and my daughter has taken the TOW classes too. I think she kind of paused for a little bit because college and
of course
work, kids,
Yeah, it's not a cult. You can come and go as needed.
Yes, yeah. That's one thing I like about the TOW, because it's not like you have to get this done. There's not like a time frame or anything.
Right.
And I like that. And so I'm going to stop talking because you know more about the TOW than I do, and we like to promote the temple.
Okay. Great.
So,
Well, then I'll just take over. The
sure.
Temple of Witchcraft is, well, it's that's the tradition that I work in. Obviously, TempleFest is part of that work. That's our big in-person festival every year. We also have an online festival in the winter called Temple Hearth, which is a good time too. It's a little cozier. Obviously it's more affordable and available for people who can't travel. So we really like to provide lots of opportunities for education and community connection as much as we can. So the Temple of Witchcraft has been around for more than 20 years at this point. And it was founded by Christopher Penczak, Adam Sartwell, and Steve Kenson. And we have a mystery school and seminary program. So there's a path to priesthood if that's what you're looking for. We do have ordination is available for ministers that want to serve and work in the community and minister to the people. But you don't have to go through the mystery school to be a member of the temple or to be involved. We have multitudes of general members that attend events, that volunteer, that make our community complete. So there's not really a hierarchy. There are people who are suckers a little bit more, such as myself, and will volunteer and help a lot, but that doesn't put me above anybody in the temple. I'm a lead minister, yes, but I'm not considered to have any authority over general members. You know what I mean? I have the areas that I work in. I may be where the responsibility ends for those, but it's not really a hierarchical structure like you may find, and it may appear that way on the outside if you look at it, but it's really not. It's really more of a community structure. So we're not really in like a coven structure. All the rules apply equally to everybody. So the founders have to follow the rules just like everyone else. And the only reason we have rules is because people do crazy stuff and then we have to make a rule. So if you get into the temple and you're like, oh, there's a member handbook, great. It is great. It is great because people need to know, what are the expectations? What am I getting involved with? How do I get in? How do I get out? What things are acceptable and what are not acceptable? And what are my options for reporting or for dealing with miscommunications and things like that. So yes, it's a lot of paperwork, but that's because I know Christopher. I've heard this from Christopher, but I'm sure that all the founders agree on that. I think when they were initially setting out to build this temple, they looked at what has worked in other organizations across time, what hasn't worked, where were problem areas, and really tried to build something that is alive, is evolving as situations change, as times change, as generations change, we grow and we adjust. So I really like that about the temple. I was personally dead set against joining a coven or a tradition in my younger days because I had some difficult experiences with just sort of local pagan groups, as unfortunately we probably all have, especially if you came up in the 80s and 90s time period. And so I just got interested, and part of what really drew me to the temple was the focus on education, and not just this is what we do, so this is how it is, but experience and practice. So in our mystery school, we really focus on learning techniques rather than learning a particular liturgy. Definitely avoid dogma. We want to know the why. How does it work? Why does it work? Not necessarily what do I need to say in this moment. So we learn techniques, we learn what has been done in the past, and we experiment and we explore different techniques and we practice. So our mystery school students, they are doing hands-on work. They're not just reading books. They're not just, writing essays and contemplating. They do a lot of that though, but they're doing a lot of practical hands-on work. And, I think it's important to have mentorship in that work, because it's really easy to fall into delusion, or to think you're having a different effect than what's actually happening. So it's helpful to have someone who's been down that road and can say, hey, what you think is happening is not what everybody else is seeing around you. So, or to tell you, sometimes it's the opposite. Sometimes no matter how much you can see the effects of their work, they can't see it themselves. And so sometimes you need that mentor to be like, hey, you're getting everything you're asking for. What on earth? So it's really important, I think, when you're learning magic, to have some guidance, to have a mentor through that process. And so our mystery school provides that. And we have really skilled practitioners at the end of that process, and we explore a wide range of techniques and traditions, I guess you could say. Obviously from a more academic perspective, because we can't really speak from a practitioner's perspective if we're outside of the culture or the or that tradition ourselves. We can look at it from an academic perspective. We can speak with people from that and share their thoughts. But we're really taking an academic and experiential approach to education, and I think that's really the foundation of having a really strong practice. You got to know what you're doing, or you can fumble around and learn by making a lot of mistakes. That's a good way to learn too, but it's not the only way.
Yeah, it's because we have a coven. We had coven for over 30 years. We have sister covens and stuff, and so you are correct. Sometimes a coven is not right for everybody and everything, the dynamics and everything. Online is a little bit different. I personally, I love doing online classes and being a membership of, I guess you could say, a spirituality outlet, and it's great, and I know besides my daughter, I have like probably 3, 4 friends that's in the TOW, and nothing bad has been said about
Oh,
it.
that's so nice.
All good. It's all good. So, just want to put it out there to the audience, I know a lot of people always says, oh, you got to pay for this, you got to pay for that.
Yeah.
It's not someone getting rich off of it or anything like that. Okay. It's a knowledge. It's the knowledge that goes more beyond than anything. It's a advancement, it helps you enhance what you already know. So, and that's good. That's a good thing.
I'm so glad you brought that up, and I would love to speak to that if I may.
Oh, sure.
I know there is a thought process in a lot of witchcraft and pagan spaces that you should never charge for anything to do with spirituality. And how nice is that? But unfortunately, I have light bills, and I have 2 kids to feed, and I'm sure you all do as well. And if you showed up to your job and they were just like, but we're not going to pay you, you would probably quit that job. So people should be paid for their work. People should, there's an exchange there. You can't just take from their knowledge and their experience and their decades of practice and expect to give nothing back. That's not okay. So I think, and this is my perspective, and everyone else has their own mileage that may vary, but for if you have someone who's dedicated to the work, and they should be paid for that work. And I'll tell you this as well. you're not going to make a lot of money. If you want to be a high priest or a high priestess, get comfortable with administrative work and don't expect to get paid a whole lot. So you're speaking specifically about classes. So I'm an in-person teacher. In the temple, we have online classes, mystery school classes, and that's an initiatory process. And we have in-person classes. I'm an in-person teacher. My students have to pay for their classes, but I don't get a lot of that because I have to rent a classroom space to teach. You know, I have to buy class supplies. I'm trying not to charge my students enough that they're, you know, so much that they're broke, but I really don't take home, if anything, I don't take home much. And if I do, it's like maybe $1 or $2 a month per student. Now, how far is that going to go? I might get lunch on my teaching weekends. So nobody is getting rich off this. And just like our authors, they are not getting rich. They would not be busting it at all of these conferences and book signings if they were rich. They would be relaxing somewhere, you know. So please pay your practitioners, pay your readers, pay your teachers, pay your high priests and priestesses that are hosting Sabbats. I know everything's expensive. I know if everywhere you look, it feels like somebody's after your money. Well, that's because they are. But these people are working their tails off to create spaces and create events. And most of the time, they're paying for part of that out of pocket. They're making up the difference from their own pockets. So please just, you know, support the community. If you want to see it, if you want to have these events and functions, if you want to have teachers available, they have to be able to eat and pay their light bill and continue to show up for these things, or we're not going to have these spaces. And I remember what it was like when we did not have these spaces. I live in Mississippi, so we're already very spread out. There's maybe a handful of groups and teachers in our entire state, and this is probably the most we've ever had. So it's important that the community show up and support things that you want to see more of. Every little bit adds up.
Absolutely. I'm glad that you said that, because that seems to be a question for everybody about why do I got to pay for classes? Why do I got to pay for this? Why can't events be all free? Why can't this be free? You know, if everything is free, then, you know,
nothing is free. Somebody's paying for it.
Teachers are getting kind of ripped off because we're paying for like Reiki training or tarot card classes to enhance our own abilities, you know. So we have to, somewhere we have to get reimbursed somehow.
And you're probably renting a space to be able to use that. Venues don't take, you know, tarot readings in exchange for, you know, event space. That just doesn't happen. Musicians, entertainers, equipment, candles aren't free. Everything costs money. So you got to contribute, you know, and if you're not willing to contribute, then, you know, I don't know what to say to you. You know, but folks who are organizing events are really, really working hard. So, and now I will say, there are some scammers out there, of course. If somebody wants $6,000 for a 3-week class, you're going to have to really break that down and see what you're getting. And then if they want $10,000 for the next class, that's a red flag. But if they're asking $300 or $400 for a year's worth of one-on-one apprenticeship, they are not getting paid. They are not getting anything. You know, they're paying for a space to teach you, and they're giving of their time. So.
Absolutely. Like I said, I'm really glad you said that, because I hopefully the audience will understand that, because like I said, it's a question of the day. It seems like everybody wants to know that.
I understand. I mean, and everybody, money's tight for everybody. And it seems like being able to go to events and being able to go to Sabbats and things like that can be a difficulty, you know, and you want to be there, but you got to pay to be there. There are also a lot of times, not always, but a lot of times where your work is more valuable than your money, you know. And I know that for a lot of temple events, you can get discounted tickets. Even for TempleFest, you know, for our volunteers that work all year, our Team TempleFest, we give a discount. We give a discount to presenters. So if you're going to come and have an exchange with labor, then that really helps offset the cost. And we do try to be mindful of those who cannot offer labor, and they may not be able to offer money as well. And we try to do scholarship programs and things like that where we can, but that often takes people donating to help fund those, or sometimes people will buy an extra ticket and say, give this to somebody who needs it. And that's really, really wonderful, because not everybody can exchange their labor instead of their money, and we understand that, of course. So we try to be as mindful and inclusive as possible.
And I think before we end, I don't think we covered the dates, did we? Because it's August 20th.
Oh gosh, we didn't.
Through September 1st.
Yes, August 29th through September 1st.
Cool. So it's coming up fast.
Coming up so fast. It's going to be such a great time. You're going to love it. Please come to TempleFest. Ask anybody who's been there. It's a really, really good time.
I will, I suggest all the events actually, because, being an organizer to our own event, I know the hard work the person, and when you do an event and you don't have very many people show up, it's like, oh, what's the use, and everything. But you got to keep going on. You got to keep going,
and you gotta make those connections too. And it can be difficult, especially if you have to make up the difference, financially. Mm-hmm. But I will say we have a wonderful community. They show up for us, and we try to show up for them as well. Several of our presenters actually host their own events. I know Evo does Sacred Space Between the Worlds, which is going to be next year. Michael Smith is one of our speakers this year as well, and he organizes Sacred Space. We have, oh gosh, I'm probably going to be leaving out people, and I hate to do that. These are just like off the top of my head. So, if you'd like more information about who's presenting, definitely go to our website. There's a page that shows the whole schedule for the weekend. There's a page that shows what vendors we're having, and there's photographs of things they have. There's a page that shows all of our presenters and what they are sharing with us and their bios. So you should be able to see who else is doing things all around. I know Mystic South, we go to that. One of our speakers is hosting an event, I think the very weekend before TempleFest, bless him. I don't know how he does all of this at one time. And actually one of our team members helps organize that as well. So they are very, very busy. And that's the Salem Witchcraft and Folklore Festival. I believe that's the name of it. And that is Matthew Venus. If I'm saying the wrong names of your festivals, I'm sorry. I'm just very tired. But those are all excellent, excellent events to check out. And I think we should all sort of encourage each other to frequent each event, because they're all different and they have a different flavor and a different focus. So you will get something new out of each one. And I is it okay if I mention our sponsors for TempleFest?
Of course, yeah. Okay. This is what we want to do within the cadre. We want to support everybody we can. The legends, the new people now, the events, businesses. So.
I'm so glad that you're doing that. So far, we have 3 sponsors for TempleFest. One of those is Llewellyn, one of those is Red Wheel Weiser, and one is the Robin's Nest, which is also in Massachusetts. So all their information will be up on our website soon, and we are still accepting sponsorships. So even just for individuals, if you would like to contribute to support TempleFest and keep things like that going, feel free to email me, or you can email TempleFest@templeofwitchcraft.org, and we will get you all the information that you need.
And all you have to do and just go out the box and just go for it. Yes,
that's how you got to us. It works.
That's how I'm just going to get this event. I'm going to go out the box. If they say no, okay, fine. I tried.
I'm so glad that you did. This has been really nice, and I've enjoyed listening to your podcast over the last couple of weeks and hearing what you're doing out there, which I think is great, and I hope you keep at it.
Well, we're not professionals. We just do it out of the love of the goddess. That's about it. So, I guess that's the best way to do it.
Do something that you love. That's great. That's exactly. I appreciate it. So thank you so much.
Well, if you just hang on for a few minutes, sure. We will end the stream. Everybody out there, please share, like, and subscribe. go to the TempleFest website, get your tickets. It's going to be a blast. Okay. Blessings, everyone. Thank you for watching.